Hey, welcome to the Traffic Hackers. Brent and Glenn here with you today. Hey, stay around to the end. We're going to give you some free specific tactic on targeting your ideal client on online events.
Welcome to the Traffic Hackers Podcast, the crossroads of lead generation expertise and business growth savvy. Here we explore the expansive landscape of demand generation, guided by your hosts, Brent Stone and Glenn Martin. So get your laptop out and your cell phone ready. It's time to enter the world of the Traffic Hackers.
So if you don't know how to find your thousands of your preferred clients, your ideal clients in online events, stay around to the end. We're going to teach you exactly how to do it. So here we go. All right, here we are. We're excited for another episode of the Traffic Hackers. I'm Brent.
What's up, guys? My name is Glenn Martin, as you guys know, and I'm super pumped to be back on another episode of the Traffic Hackers.
It's going to be good. We've got some really cool stuff today. And we're just getting everything kicked off. Glenn and I were talking about some of the value of just targeting the right people, because certain platforms like LinkedIn, most of the people that we speak to when we are talking to them about our specific automation software, most people tell us they don't have good results on LinkedIn. And it's sad because that particular platform is designed to be able to be searched thoroughly for your exact clients. And that's pretty much, I mean, Glenn, correct me if I'm wrong, that's pretty much the only reason why people don't get good results is because they don't know how to search. Is that right?
Yeah, well, there's two reasons, but that's the first one. The first one is they don't know how to search. The second one is they're terrible at messaging. And so, I think searching is what obviously the first start to that, because if you are bad at messaging, but you have a good audience, you can sometimes still break through the noise and have some clients. So you can have some success. And so then maybe you think it's yourself, but it's two part, but definitely searching is the beginning. And yeah, LinkedIn is incredibly powerful. And if you're listening to this and you're like, man, I thought LinkedIn was like this place for online resumes and where I went to update my work history and stuff like that, you're right. But you're also terribly wrong because it is so much more than that. And it is a very, very robust social media platform, but it's targeted with high level entrepreneurs and business owners. And so that's why we are always so excited about talking about LinkedIn, because outside of the local clients that we have, LinkedIn is where we get 99% of all of our clients. And so we absolutely nerd out on this stuff, and you guys get a chance to hear how we, think and some of our go-tos. But yeah, Brent, quick answer is definitely one of the main reasons for sure.
So one of the things that I really like that you said was messaging. So if we're looking at messaging and proper messaging, how are people making mistakes in their messaging on a day-to-day basis when they utilize LinkedIn? Because before you answer, I do know that people waste a lot of time on social media in general, but when they go onto LinkedIn, they probably have the intention of going on there to do business because it's a business forward platform, social media platform, but people get caught up in their feed, and then all of a sudden it's like they start treating their inbox like it's an Instagram inbox. I'm assuming. I mean, at least I did that for a long time. Now, because we've been in the training and in the trenches of doing this for quite a while now and having good results, it's just maybe we can help shed some light on what the mistakes are, so people stop making those mistakes.
There's a lot of mistakes. I mean, it would probably take us like the next 3 hours to dig into all the mistakes, but I think the first thing with messaging is, well, there's several parts to this, which makes it complicated for many people where they think that, man, I should be able to send a message to a connection and say, hey, great to be connected. How's business, or how's life in your part of the world, or whatever. The problem with that is because it's a business platform. See, most of you are looking at social media as exactly that, social, you go in there and you share your cupcakes and you share all these things. And it's just like, well, you should look at it. If you're a business owner, it's business media to you now. So stop. If you want to actually grow your business in the social media platform, start remembering that this is business media. You're using this for business. Doesn't mean you can't socialize on your Instagram and Facebook and or LinkedIn, but what's the purpose of your outreach? Typically it's not to just, you know, shake hands with some random person just to make you feel good. It's because you're trying to get into a conversation, which can lead to collaboration and or business. So that's the first thing that I would give you. And now when you send that generic message, because this is a business platform specifically, these people are kind of like, oh, wow, I've had the same message from like 700 other people in the last 2 months. I just as soon not even reply. It's not because they're mad at you. It's not because they don't like you or that you're not credible. It's because they simply don't have the bandwidth to just, swap stories with someone that they have no clue who it is. And that's the number one thing that people make as a mistake. And so I can kind of, one of the first things that I would do is find a way to relate to that individual, even though you don't know them in person, right? Maybe it's because of a mutual connection and you're like, hey, Brent, super excited to check out your profile. I'm super glad we're connected. I am always pumped to talk about X, Y, and Z. I saw that you made a post 2 weeks ago about that. Tell me a little bit more about that. How did you get involved with, random subject? And now if they don't reply, typically it's because they get a lot of messages in their inbox and they might not have seen it. And so then it requires some follow-up, which is secondary. We don't need to go into that now. But the first thing is find a way to relate, to cut through the noise of everybody that's just, kicking tires and trying to get someone into a random conversation about how their cat is or how
Hey,
their
so
day
so
is.
glad you connected with me. Um, I hope we can benefit each other soon, which I've sent out a million times.
Yeah. And that's where people swing the opposite direction and they go directly for the cut for the throat. And it's like, this is what I do. I can help you. And they send like 17 paragraphs and you see that and you're just like, oh, wow, I didn't slot out a half hour of my day to read LinkedIn messages today. I'll get back to it when I have a moment. And you never have another moment. And then you get ignored and you're just like, LinkedIn sucks. I have no clue how to use this platform.
Yeah,
That's the dichotomy of probably 90% of people that are listening to this. And here's what's crazy. There is nearly a billion users of LinkedIn and it's growing every single day. Literally, I looked like a week ago and it was like 970 million. And within 4 days, it was up another 2 million users. And I haven't looked today, but I would guess that it's probably up another.
crazy.
Yeah, wild. That's how powerful this platform is.
Wow. Yeah, and with that volume of people on there, when people realize that an actual search query of their exact customers that they're looking for, if they could just understand the power of having like an audience of 2,500 people or an audience of 1,000 people or even 500, like you could work those leads for a year and have business continuously flowing in if you do it right. And obviously we're excited about automating that for people because that's what we do. But if people want to manually do that stuff, there's so much you can do with just a proper search. So Glenn, let's give them some value. So we started off this whole episode with telling people how they can go into events and search their ideal client. Can you tell people a little bit about how to do that?
Absolutely. So if you're not aware, LinkedIn has a ton of different search options that are just given in the free version. So you don't need to have premium. You don't need to be paying $90 a month for Sales Navigator or anything like that. We're talking the free version of LinkedIn that you have an account for right this very second. And so what you're going to do is you're going to go into your search bar and type in whatever niche that you're in. So maybe you are in IT consulting, maybe you are just trying to learn more about cat grooming or, whatever it might be. I mean, who doesn't want to know that? It's important stuff, right? It doesn't matter. Whatever you're interested in or whatever your business is associated with, you're like, man, where do my ideal clients hang out? I'm a funnel builder. I sell e-commerce products or whatever the case may be. Type that into your search bar. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to bring up a bunch of options that LinkedIn has. And it's going to say people, there's going to be services, there's going to be events, there's going to be groups. Here's what we want you to do. Go to events, type that search in, click on events, and it's going to give you a list of hundreds of events. Now, if you're a very, very specific niche where where you're in like the dog grooming industry for like cockapoos or something like that, maybe not hundreds of events, but you get my point. Hundreds of events. that now are in that search query. Well, what does that help me, Glenn? Well, here's the deal. All these people that are in those events are potential prospects for you. So type in very specific, go to those events, and then click join. When you click join, now you can view all the other participants inside this event, which then allows you to start connecting with them, and you know exactly where their interests are. And so you can have a very specific conversation, not pitching, but very specific. That's the thing that I would do right out of the gate. Go in there, search, go into your events, and that's going to be your highest level of audience, because you can even search in events who's in the United States, who's in the UK, who's in Zimbabwe, or wherever you want to connect with people. That is where the power comes inside of just these types of events. So, Brent, let me know if I missed anything. I think that's going to help a ton of people.
That's going to help a ton of people. You didn't miss anything. I think that that's wonderful. We're wrapping up this episode here. Thank you all for tuning in to Glenn and myself with the Traffic Hackers. Until next time, have fun and keep the traffic going.